Good morning. It is now 20 minutes after 2 o'clock Central Standard Time. If you're in the Eastern Standard Time Zone, it's 20 minutes after 3 in the morning. If you're over in the Pacific Time Zone, then it's just 20 minutes after midnight. But if you're a workaholic, what is time? Yeah, time is money. Ernest Odell here, and I thought I'd go live. I've been sitting up all night. Just, I went to bed early last night, about 9:30, and tossing and turning, thinking, okay? And I've got some good news. No bad news, okay? This is not a rant, but this hopefully is something that will encourage all of you who are on my team over at the Cash Now Funnel. All right. I'm going to put this live stream up at the top of my feed. I'm going to pin it to the top. Okay. As soon as I can get it to load here. There we go. I'm going to pin this post. As you all know, I've been working on some pages for the new funnel, and I like to change up themes and build big American muscle, cars. I do a little wizardry every now and then. Not too much on the angels and demons side, but I'm always thinking creative, how to build a list. Because this in the Cash Now funnel, this is what we're about, building a list. And one of my team members sent me a private message, and he says, look at this, help me, sell this, look at that, help me, how can I sell this, how can I promote this? And I figured the best way to answer his question was to say, let's get back to the basics first, okay? You don't even have a list to sell to. You don't even have a list to promote to, okay? First, you got to build your list. Now, this is something that I learned from Corey Rudel back about 25 years ago. Corey was a young founder of the internet community, and Frank Kern will tell you, and many of the originals, and Willie Crawford, Ken MacArthur, they're all friends of mine, okay? Corey was killed in a racing accident back in 2005. I think it was July of 2005. He had just gotten married. I don't know. He'd been married for less than a year, and he left a young widow. Corey was from Vancouver, British Columbia. He ran the Internet Marketing Center, and this is where, he was kind of like the grandfather of internet marketing. And I've got a bunch of his tapes. I got 2 volumes of his books over here. And he hammered this home. I don't care what variation or version of the course that you bought from him. And I still got the VHS. They're on VHS tapes, if you can imagine that. Who has a VHS? Okay. who has a DVD player. I mean, everything is streamed now. It's like everything is live streamed somehow on Wistia, YouTube, Vimeo. But one of the things that Corey hammered home, and all the big gurus, and I spell that Gooroo because I am very anti guru, Guru. A lot of people claiming to be gurus. Guru means teacher, okay? You know, some people would call Jesus a guru. He was a teacher. And yeah, he did teach a lot. But I want to get back to the basics and say something that you've probably heard many times and it seems repetitive. And it sounds like a catchphrase that people have become deaf and numb and blind to what I'm about to tell you, okay? Is the money is in the list. If you're looking to get on the internet and build a business, first you got to build the list. I don't care how many products you have. I have over 585 subdomains, okay, all producing a smattering of income, some better than others, some not producing anything, okay? But it's all, for me, it's a test. I'm a number cruncher, okay? I've always been about numbers. Try this, didn't work, try something else. It's not about failure. It's about seeing what works and what doesn't work, okay? Before you start poking new spokes into your wheel of fortune and getting this business and plugging it in, and that business and plugging it in, and promoting this and that, get the basics down first. Build a list. Okay. Right now, I have a list of active buyers, over 25,000 active. At one time, I had over 200 million. What happened to the 199 million plus that didn't? Well, they got archived. Okay. I didn't kill them or trash them. I just archived them, moved them out. Quit peppering the bandwidth with a bunch of, emails that didn't do anything or go anywhere. Active, okay. I've got 25 years experience in this. And if you were sitting in on the interview that I did with Frank Calabro the other day, Thursday at noon Central, no, it was about 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We teach people to build a list. This is all about generating leads, okay? Email addresses. Corey, when he was teaching live seminars and recorded seminars, he always said, grab 2 things, at least their name and their email, okay? Name and email. Name and email. Now, in this case where we're at, I'm using a single opt-in form. If you go to your Wealth Achiever, as it's scrolling across the bottom there, it's just got one form, email. That's it. If you follow instructions, even you can't screw this up. If you follow very detailed instructions, you just can't mess this up. Once you build a list, you'll have somebody to sell to. Okay. I know people, they hate the word sales and it's a nasty word and sell, but that's the truth of the matter. You do have people that do want to be sold to. They do want to buy whatever you have if you have something of value, if you can provide something of value. Okay. You cannot pepper a bunch of people with all these little plug-in spokes of this little bright shiny object and that little bright shiny object and expect them to buy anything. You don't become a trusted advisor. They you got, yeah, you got to get people to know, like, and trust you, but you don't pepper them with everything because you look sporadic, you look desperate, you look hungry. Frank has been doing this a little over 10 years, and he doesn't even, I talked to him the other day, he doesn't even build a list. I don't think he even runs solo ads anymore because he's got such a big list, and his name is already kind of big and out there, and he's viral all over the place. He doesn't have to build a list, although um, it's not hard, for him to do so if he wanted to, because his name just brings people in. And he'll tell you the same thing. The same thing that Corey was telling me 25 years ago before he got killed in that racing accident in 2005. I was listening to Corey back around the turn of Y2K. And I started watching Corey, and I got, into buying Corey's courses back just right after Y2K. When midnight of 1999, and it rang 12:01 a.m. on the year 2000, and the world didn't fall apart, and the world didn't come to a screeching halt. The world kept spinning. And it was about that time, because I had been marketing on the internet when it first became available to the public in 1996, hammering out and learning this thing called the internet. I started following Corey Rudel and Frank Kern, Willie Crawford, Ken MacArthur. I found these guys, some of the original founders of the internet community. But Corey was kind of the granddaddy. He was kind of the inspiration for a lot of us old guys. I'm going on 70 years old, okay? But one of the things that I've learned in the past 20, 25 years is that us old geezers, okay, if you want to call us the geezer squad, we've learned a few things. And one of those things is you got to stop and think. The money is in the list, but you got to have a list. I don't care what you're selling. It might be a good product, might be a good system, might be PLS. Okay. Consider this right here, this video, a free lesson. All right. When I got out of the hospital back in February, I went into the hospital with 103.8 fever. Didn't feel sick. Didn't feel nauseated. I don't remember the ride to the hospital in the ambulance. Barely remember going into the ER when they wheeled me in, offloaded me. They offloaded me into the emergency room at the hospital. And for the first 5 days, I was in and out of consciousness And everything that they fed me tasted like cardboard. I didn't have a sense of taste. I had old number 19, okay? I had the original, no variant, okay? I had the original. How I got it, I don't know. But I lived through it because I said, nah, I said, I got a lot to do. I came home in self quarantine for, I don't know, an extra 2 weeks. I was supposed to stay home for, after being in the hospital for 10 days and losing 50 pounds, I went from 300 to 250 in short order. It's not the good way to lose weight. And I self quarantined here at the house by myself. And I had to take some medicine. I had to take this medicine they gave me. I was supposed to take one a day for 5 days after I got out of the hospital with food. And the only thing I ate was one scrambled egg. I just made a scrambled egg, nothing else. No bread, no coffee, water, drank lots of water. Man, I was just, thirsty all the time. I was weak, walking around with a walker. I had, you know, um, I had physical therapists come by the house, occupational therapists, were on a regularly scheduled visit, for several days in a row. Make sure that I did the exercises to get back into shape because, OC19 just kind of, it takes a lot of your energy away. Yeah, and I had it. And I thought when I was in, the hospital, I actually penned out my resignation letter, my retirement letter, okay, that I was going to shut down all my operations. I'm not going to teach, I'm not going to coach anymore. And right now, I've turned away more students over the past 10, 20, 25 years. And just over the past 6 months, I've turned away students, potential clients, okay, because too many people that I worked with had false expectations. They had unrealistic expectations. They've gotten themselves into financial trouble over the past 5, 10, 20, 25 years. And the past 2.5 years hasn't been helpful for a lot of people either, closing businesses and losing jobs. But it's not going to take 5, 10, 25 years to get your finances and economy back if you follow one simple rule, is build your list. Let me give you an example, okay? When Jesus was preaching to the crowds of 5,000 in the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, and Luke, and I think in John, he fed 5,000 people, and it says 5,000 men. So, you figure there's probably some wives and children around, so they probably had, who knows, 10, 15, 20,000 people. That's, kind of like a small town, small village. And not only did he feed them with the 5 loaves and 2 fishes, and that was miraculous by itself, but he taught them and healed them. Go back and read it. You can read. I'm not here to preach. I'm not here to save you. I'm not here to save you from yourself, and I'm not here to preach. Okay. And I'm not here to convert you, whether you believe it or not. Okay. I want you to look at what was done. He built a tribe of followers. He wasn't selling anything. He was giving. Okay. He was giving away healing and hope to people. And he was healing people, and feeding them, um, healed the sick, raised the dead, you know. And I thought, with all the people that I've been working with, and I had retired basically just kind of uh, I wanted to get away from coaching people. And I had penned the letter, and I actually sat down and I wrote the letter when I got back to the house after I got out of the hospital. And I sent it out to all my list. And I said, no more coaching, no more mentoring. This way, video, I can do that. I can broadcast it. I can put it up on YouTube. I can put it here on my wall. And I thought, now I'm getting into a community of people. I'm working with people who need help. Okay. And while you're watching this stream, if you would, if you have questions, put them in the comments below this video. I'll be glad to answer your questions. Okay. Like I said, this is not a rant, but I couldn't sleep and I needed to get up. Okay. I have a target. If you look at the virtual background behind me, that's a Rolls-Royce Phantom. I don't know, that looks like the London Bridge. Or is that the George Washington Bridge? I don't know. But I've always been a fan of big cars. It's always been kind of one of my markers. A marker that I put up on my wish board, to have a nice car like that. And to really enjoy a Rolls Royce, you got to have a driver. Okay, because the enjoyment of a Rolls Royce Phantom is not driving it, not being seen in a Rolls Royce, or having a driver and a bodyguard. The enjoyment of big luxury cars is riding in the back, have somebody else do the driving while you're sitting there, doing your work, whatever. That's been kind of one of my goals. All right, to have something nice, but also I have another big WHY. I have a big Y. And I won't mention their names right now, but to help certain people that I love very much. And when I'm working with some of these students that get off into the BSO syndrome, and BSO is not buffalo sausage, okay? It's bright, shiny objects. I want to kind of steer them back. I want to get them to kind of steer back to the basics and get back to building the list. And you can always watch a replay on this later. Don't get sidetracked by all the bright, shiny objects that you could promote. Could I help you set up a funnel to promote them? Yeah, I could. Could I design the web pages and the autoresponders and bang out the autoresponder series to do that for you? Yeah. but you would be in the hole before you got your funnel plugged in and started running, traffic and visitors and all that to it, because I ain't doing it for free. Okay. First thing, I'd have to come out of retirement. All right. And like Frank, he came out of retirement to create this system, the cash now funnel. And he put this together, and it's the most ingenious system I've seen to date. I started following Frank back in 2012, 2014, somewhere in that area, when he was doing his videos, taking money out of the ATM. And he was, you know, energetic in his presentations and hustling and everything. And everything, it seems like everything he touched just turned to gold. And I've been watching him. I'm telling you, for the past 8, 10 years. And when Power Lead System PLS put together the interview series, I think there's like 14 different interviews on it, 14 or 16. I'm wondering why don't they have Frank Calabro in there? Because he is like the number one success story. Okay. And I'm going to get Franco Gonzalez on one of these days. I want to talk to Franco. But I was just chatting back and forth with Frank over the past couple of weeks, and he finally came on. We did an interview. I did an interview with him here back on Thursday. That was always one of my goals. Okay. And to do it again whenever he has time, because I don't want to bogart his time, because I know he enjoys his freedom and his retirement. He's got what I would say a control retirement. He can come out when he wants to. All right. Not because he has to, but he's a giver. He gives and he teaches. Okay. Now, it may seem like I'm just kind of all over the place and rambling, but I consider Frank a friend. Okay. And I know he likes his privacy. So I'm giving him some kudos. Like, he's the modern Corey Rudel. Just don't wreck that Jeep, Frank. Whatever you do, just don't wreck that Jeep, man, because we need you around. We need you to be an inspiration and teach people. The basics build the list. We're in the lead generation business. Once you have a good base of leads, what is that? 200, even a small list, 2,000? I've got over 25,000 active buyers, subscribers. At one time, I had 200 million, just a bunch of subscribers that didn't buy anything. And I think I kept about 1% of them. I actually went down to about 2,400. Now I got it back up to about 25,000. Okay. Didn't take long to do it, but it did take work and consistency. It took work, smart work, not hard work, and consistency. Every morning I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, whether I feel like it or not. Okay. And I sat down and I wrote down my goals. I wrote down, I don't know if you can see this. Yeah, here. I have to put it back here by me. I write notes. Okay. And I bought 10 of these books from my friend Ken Walls. the 10-minute mastery journal. Every morning, I spend about 10 minutes writing down the things that I want to do. And this is something that he learned and I learned from Brian Tracy. Brian said, you want to achieve your goals, write it down. All right. But a lot of people, they're kind of all over the place. They don't know their goals. And I was telling this young man yesterday after church, um, write down 100 goals, not 99, not 101, but write down 100 goals that you want in your life. Do you, the perfect wife, that you want in your life, the love of your life, good kids, you want a fine home, you want a fine car, like a Rolls Royce, whatever. Okay. There's nothing wrong with having nice things. And it's not money is not the root of all evil. It's the love of money or the lust and the greed. Okay. A lot of people get that wrong. Because without money, you can't be a blessing to a lot of other people that need your help, that don't have that mindset to get out. Okay. Even Jesus said, you will always have the poor with you. The poor you will always have with you, because some people will never have hope. And this is not putting down poor people. This is having a heart of compassion. Okay, that you can be a difference in their life. And this is something that I learned from Frank Kern, Corey Rudel, Willie Crawford, Ken MacArthur. I haven't talked to Ken in years. We chat all the time. And this is something that I've learned from Grant Cardone. I've got just about every one of his books, and Joe Vitale. You know, I've never sat down and talked to Grant, but I watch all of his stuff and I read all of his books. Joe Vitale, I've done some PR work for him, been to some parties with him, had him sign some of my books, several. I got personal autographed copies. Had him speak at one of my engagements uh, that I was doing in Blanco, Texas, north of San Antonio. And it keeps coming back home, you know, build a list. Build a list. If you look at the comments up above my video, okay, I tell people, it's an old catchphrase, and a lot of people get tired of hearing it, but it hits home every time. The money is in the list, yes, but you got to build a list first, okay? You got to build your list. There is no money if there is no list, all right? And Bobby, if you're watching right now, I talked to Bobby the other day, bless her heart, sweet lady. God, I got a lot of great friends. I got a bunch of great friends, and some I've just met recently. Uh, Scott McCain, Glenn Morshire, Ken Walls, back during, uh, when number 19 hit the fan back in March, April of 2020. I made a lot of new friends sitting in on some of the webinars and live streams like this. Teodora Moga, okay. Uh, Gosh, I'm trying to think of, who all I've gotten so many new friends, you know, just in the past couple of years, and real people, real friends. Okay, and I've listened in, and I've got some old friends: Jeff Spangler, Karen Anderson, Frank Calabro. Okay, uh, Ed Haupt, Diane Sorey, Dean Ford, Dan Fox, Val Smith. Val Smith is a frickin' legend. Okay, Val's been in this industry for, I don't know, 40, 50 years. Franco Gonzalez, Mark Lofton, Mark Turner, Jack Bastide, Nancy, Nancy, Nancy Fisher, Nancy Plass, Bob Rydell, Cindy Anderson, my upline. She's the lady that sponsored me into PLS. Karin Petty, Michael Price, one of the founders of PLS. Love the guy like a brother. Sweet man. Neil Guess. We've chatted a few times. We haven't talked, but we've chatted. Jeff Mills. I talk to these guys and chat with them. Tim Day, Andrew Hasfurther, Wendell Gibson, Alfonso Jones, Shelley Woodward Farber, Mark Gassert, my brother from another mother, Mark Gassert, Peachtree Corners, Georgia. Okay, Eugene Pelza, from Bloemfontein, South Africa. Uh, Bob Santero, Harry Bushwitz, Todd McCart, another leader. Todd McCart is another legend that a lot of people don't know about. You know, these people have earned their badges in more ways than one. Latasha Alexander. Now, here's one. I've been working with Latasha for, gosh, off and on, I guess, about the past 8, 10 years. I can remember when we were in Instant Rewards and U.S. Home Workforce, and we got started with the freebies, and now she's off and doing things. Her and her husband and family built this great big brand new house out there in the country, spread out all over what, I don't know, Natasha can tell me, 10, 15, 20 acres. And I think the house sits on an acre. It's huge because she went and built her dream. She built her tribe. She built her list. Okay. And she promoted whatever she had and didn't, get off into a bunch of bright, shiny objects, but she provided value. And I think she's in the travel business, and she's taught people how to fix their credit and get their credit rating and fix their finances. And I wanted to get back and tell some friends of mine that have been chatting with me, you know, could we build a funnel to promote this or that? I said, yeah, but you'd be in the hole before you could get it launched because you got to spend money to do it. It takes time and intellectual power to sit there and bang out 14, 21 letters, email auto-response series. Got to know the product. You got to have a targeted niche market, and then the marketing to drive the traffic and the visitors to your website. That's paid traffic. Start simple. Start with a simple system like what you're looking at there, yourwealthachiever.com. It's the Cash Now funnel. It's the promotional system for the Power Lead System PLS. Okay. And start with the basics. Build a list. Have a place to capture those emails, okay, and provide value and follow up. When you go there and you sign up, you're going to get more than just a business opportunity. You're going to get some education, okay, because it's going to take you over to, well, here, let me just share my screen and I'll show you where it's going to take you, okay. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and I'll even share my system sound, okay. All right, got it. Now we are live. So we are in, that's Corey. That was a memorial page that some of his friends put up. When you fill out this form and you follow instructions, it's going to redirect you over to this page right here. You're going to listen to this.
Hello and welcome. We're going to share a strategy today on how to make $100,000 per year without even having a product, business, or an offer.
That is the voice of Frank Calabro. Anybody that's known Frank Calabro for years would recognize that voice if they never saw him. If they never saw one of his promotionals, but they would recognize the voice, okay? That voice will live on long after we're all gone, okay? As long as it's on the internet. But right here, we're not just selling you a business opportunity and a hope and a dream. We're selling you an education, yes, where you get into this system and you learn it. And I say, sign up, watch this video. When you get to the end of this video, click this right here. Yes, let me in. And then go through the step 1, step 2, step 3. Okay. You want to get started? Click the enroll now, or this one here. Cost you $1. And then the monthly go gold for $53.97. That's $2 a day. That's less than $2 a day. I spend more than that just on coffee. Okay. I'm sitting up here at 3:03 a.m. drinking coffee because, I had to get back. If you can't take 2.5 hours to watch these videos, the first one I think is 45 minutes. The next one is like 36, 39 minutes, and then there's 26, and then overall there's about 2.5 hours. If you can't take 2 to 2.5 hours time to watch these videos, then maybe you're doing all right. Maybe you like that job where you're at, and if that's providing everything you need, fine. That's great. But if you do sign up, once you sign up through this page here, and it takes you over to the orientation here, okay, check your email. You're going to get a welcome email. It's going to give you some information. You can always unsubscribe if you want to. That's why we call it a funnel. Picture a funnel, people coming in down through the spout. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen. But Build your list first. They said, well, how do I do that? Well, you can go through solo ads. You can get soloaduniverse.com, Zane Kendrick. Uh, you can go with leaviewsoloads.com, Liviu Ugurianu over in Moldova. Uh, you can go through MLGS and build a list there. You can go through Traffic for Me. Okay. You can get a list built, 20, 25 years ago. It would take somebody close to 2 or 3 weeks to get a funnel up and running into profit mode. Nowadays, with technology, just like Frank said in the interview the other day, Thursday, last week, you can have this done within hours. Okay. I had this system up and running, and I can make a new page, bam, bam, bam. I can make a new page, clone it every 3 minutes, share it out so you don't have to be a programmer. You let the programmers do that for you. I'm just one of the programmers, okay? 69 going on 70. My mind is still as sharp as a steel blade in an axe, okay? I stay engaged with people, and I stay engaged with the industry because I want to teach people how to do this so that when this is recorded and I can upload it to the group and to my YouTube channel, you'll have something to go back to and remember to write this down. Build your list. If you don't have a list, you don't have anything to sell. I don't care if you have the greatest product, money making idea. If you don't have a list, you can't tell nobody about it. Build your list first. Okay. That's all this page is really designed to do. And then it puts them into the teaching funnel and it shows them how to build a list. Build a list, because from there, when you go through the learning curve and the learning process, you find all these new spokes you can present and put in front of people. Some of them are going to buy. Not everybody's going to buy. Okay. I have some of the greatest things out there. John Crestani is one of my coaches. Robbie Blanchard. They're like number one, number two on the ClickBank networks, for affiliate marketing. These guys are super sharp. What they've done in 10 years, it's taken me about 25 to get there. Okay. I never really promoted this to make money. I just built stuff and, worked for other people, and I used it as a toolbox. But you can make money with this, but you've got to start with that one page, whether it's a red page or one of the pretty girl pages or the motorcycle or the muscle car pages. You got to build a list. I don't care what you do. You got to have a message. You got to be on point. Build a list. It's kind of like boot camp, getting over the hurdles and going through the obstacle course. You toughen up. It's that constant, repetitive consistency of working out that builds up muscles. Okay. And when you do that and you say, oh man, a few months later, you've got this huge list. What do I sell? Some of them are, they're going to buy. They're not going to buy everything. Not everybody's going to buy everything. Some people are going to unsubscribe, and that's fine. Let them unsubscribe. And then there's a few that'll put in a bogus email address and it'll come back and bounce. And guess what? I delete those all in one fell swoop. Okay. I'll have, well, just like yesterday, last night I was coming in here checking. I had like 7 email addresses, only 7 out of 25,400 that had bounced for one reason or another. Their email inbox was full, they don't check it, or it was just bogus. Okay. And I just had one tool where it deleted. I didn't have to do them all one by one. I just said, oh, okay, here's all the bounces and non-verifieds. Boom, gone. Okay. Clean it up. It's that easy to clean things out. That's why they call it a funnel. Okay. So at 3:11 in the morning, I got started here about 2:20. I got about 9 minutes, less than 9 minutes. It'll be 1 hour. We're going on 51 minutes and 20 seconds plus. Okay. I just wanted to get on because I couldn't sleep and I needed to get this message out. Quit getting distracted. Stay focused. All right. Stay focused and targeted. Stay on message. All right. Build your list. I know it sounds repetitive. The money's in the list. The money's in the list. I know it sounds repetitive, but it's true. Build your list. Frank will tell you no different. Okay. We're in the lead generation business. We just produce leads. That's people's emails, addresses, names, and emails. And sometimes, depending on the business, you might even ask for their phone number. But in this business, it's just emails. Okay. Name and emails in the proper category of business. Yeah. Okay. And that's what Corey taught. That's what Corey taught back in 2000, 2002, before he was killed in a racing accident in 2005. And that made news. Okay. Because I followed him like from, 96, 98. Got all of his stuff, all of his books and his tapes. He said, build a list. Brian Rooney over at Traffic Wave does the same thing. Build your list. Build a list first, okay? And the only way to do that is with paid traffic. If you can't afford paid traffic, then go out and mow some lawns or rake some leaves or something. I mean, come on, If your legs ain't broken, you ain't rolling around in a wheelchair. I've seen people in wheelchairs do more work than I could do. All right. You get motivated enough, they'll do it. You get hungry enough, you'll do whatever you need to do. All right. No excuses. There's no excuses in this business. Okay. You either do or you don't. What was it that Master Yoda said? Do or do not. There is no try. When Luke Skywalker was trying to get the X-Wing out of the bog out in the swamp, he says, I just can't do it. He didn't have the force. He says, and he got frustrated with Master Yoda and he says, well, I'm trying. And that's when Master Yoda said, do or do not. There is no try. It's one of my favorite lines from the movie Star Wars. Master Yoda, do or do not. You either do or do not. Okay. And there's something that I learned years ago from an old gentleman that I worked with For many years, he taught me a lot. He said the learning comes in the doing. I don't know where he got that, but it's true. You learn woodcraft by doing woodcraft. You learn from a master teacher. You are the apprentice, okay? Or you're a steel worker or a welder. The learning comes in the doing. Once you do it repetitively and you build a list and you do it through paid advertising and you say, well, I can't afford it. It's because you've been telling yourself you can't afford it, okay? When you can afford it, if you just get off of your butt and figure out a way to go make some money to afford it. I know that sounds like a circular argument, but it's so true. You've got to go out and do whatever you need to do. You got to have certain equipment to mow a lawn, lawnmower, edger, weed eater, gasoline, oil. The same thing here with internet marketing. You can't do everything on a tablet and a phone. You got to have either a laptop or a desktop. Do whatever. When I got started in this business back in 96, 98, I didn't even have a computer. I went to the city library. Okay. I used the public library's computer and I learned internet marketing. This was before Y2K, when they had, you know, an internet T1 paid for by the city. And then after Y2K, I learned, and I made enough money to go out and buy a brand new Dell desktop, one of the latest at the time. I mean, it was like, I think I gave something like $600 or $800 for the desktop. And then I bought a Toshiba laptop, paid $1,600 for a Toshiba laptop. And it had all the power of a desktop. And I've never looked back. But how did I do it? I went out and I worked 3 part-time jobs. I went out and did odd jobs around town and around the county, and I did gardening and mowed lawns and you name it. Everything went back into the bank to pay for paid traffic. And that's how I built my list. So I hope my message comes out this morning clear, because I just wanted to share this with you. Get out there and build your list. Go to yourwealthachiever.com, sign up. You will learn, watch the videos. You will learn how to build a list and get paid at the same time, because technology has made it so much easier. You can start making money in the next 24 hours. You won't be able to sleep at night. This is one of the reasons why I'm up at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, because I just couldn't sleep. I was so excited about trying to provide some solutions to people, because they really do need to make some money. So I'm going to call this quits. Keep it under an hour, 59 minutes going on. And I'm going to call it Good Morning, Monday, August 22nd of 2022. Y'all have a good day, and we'll see you later on in the day. This is Ernest Odell, and as Frank Calabro would say, signing off. Good morning. Bye-bye.